Good morning, folks. It's about 9 AM, Saturday could be the 29th of November 2025. And I've got another book review. Just finished reading this one. Now, I hear about them mostly on the Radio New Zealand national program, and sometimes there's a book review on the radio. It sounds quite interesting, so I order it in through the library system. And sometimes you wait a few weeks, and sometimes you wait many, many months. And this one sounded interesting. And if anyone's ELSPETH BEARD, Lone Rider, the first British woman to motorcycle around the world. And it's by, what says there, Octane Publishing. It's edition 1.1 out of America. Was it copyright 2017, the original British one? First American printing 2018. This is the 2020 version 1.1. I'm not sure, looks fairly new. I'm not sure when it got in the library system here. Didn't have to wait too long for it. It is fabulous. I do recommend you read it. You might only want to read it once, in which case a library copy might be all you want. You might be happy to rent, and I use that word specifically, on some kind of Kindle or e-reader type of thing. Remembering that books you buy on those e-platforms can be deleted from your account at any time. It's a great read. It's so good. I'm a wee bit worried it's like AI, because it's just too good. Yeah. So this was happened in. There's a picture there, young woman. There she is, ELSPETH BEARD. So what? 1982. She got involved in motor scooters and motorbikes at an earlier age. And just in case of background, due to our here in New Zealand, the driver's licensing and the registration, and also the finance systems that were allowed on motorbikes and motor scooters, it was quite common when I was a teenager to go from a kid's bike to a low-powered motor scooter. In some countries they might be called a moped. Some of them actually had pedals, so you could actually pedal them as well, like a bicycle. Some of them did not. And again, the laws vary the world over. But, so I've had a number of motor scooters and some smaller motorbikes, and up to a mid-size myself. So by 1982, she decided she wanted to literally ride around the world. Didn't do Africa, didn't do South America, didn't do North Asia, but she did the rest. She went across North America, took the boat to Australia, went around Australia, took the boat up to Indonesia, Bali, and then went up through Indonesia, and did she have to take a boat somewhere to get into India? But yeah, and went through countries that India, which was an adventure, to put it nicely. Iran, not long after the Iranian Revolution, this was, of course, the Pakistan and Turkey, and back through Europe. At times she met other motorcycle riders. One of them in particular she was with for quite some time. It took her 2 years altogether. Had relationships with some of them, and yeah, it's just a fabulous read. And by the time you get to the last little bit of the book, when she's back in London, in some cases that's the most emotional part of the book. I guess because by that time we've built up our attachment to the story and the characters. But I if anyone has even a slight interest in motorbikes, so as I say, if you started out riding a moped, motor scooter or something like that, and you'd done a couple of runs out into the country, more than just from one city address to another. And I mean, I haven't done the rural tent backpacking camping on a motorbike like she did. But yeah, 1982 to 1984. And I was sort of thinking, why is the book only written now, like 30, 40 years later? At the time, she was an architecture student. She'd partly done her architecture studies. She needed some work experience credits. She got work with, at the time, one of Sydney's most famous, Sydney, Australia, one of the most famous and well-awarded architects who literally abused her. She names him in the book. When I say abused, I do mean he, had her working like a Trojan for 6 weeks for no pay, not just minimum wage. In the end, she got work at a different architecture place that treated her well. And she names the guy, so maybe she wanted to wait until after he died. Over time, she got together some photos and other diaries and things, and in the early days, she'd try to get a bit of publicity early on with some motorbike magazines and that kind of thing, and no one was interested in sponsoring her or supporting her at all. She was from a family that had plenty of money. Her father was literally one of those Harley Street doctors. And when she got back to England, contacted Motorbike magazine. Whenever the media contacted her in the past, they did an absolute hatchet job. One time they sent like a woman intern to go and do the interview, and then when she saw the article, it had been written up by the senior, some old man reporter who absolutely did a hatchet job on it. And I've heard that story so many times before. I know people who are reporters or have been reporters. I know they're not bad people. Not all bad people. Get that? That's the special cough. But yeah, and towards the end, at the end of the book, she explains how the book came into being at this particular time. Because I thought, well, this was over 40 years ago now. Why has it taken 40 years to write the book? That's explained. I recommend it. If you're really into motorbikes, and especially if you're into BMW motorbikes, because that was her specific strength. That was the one she had, that she did the main tour all around the world on, and she'd had other motorbikes before that, different brands. Yeah. Get the book, read the book. You might be happy with it as an e-book. You might be happy to borrow it from the library. I may not read this book again, so I'm happy for it to go back to the library. Very glad to have read that. Now, while I've got the camera here set up and that, 2 books I haven't read yet, because I just got the email like 2 days ago and then 1 day ago, and I went and picked them up. I'd heard about these again on the Radio New Zealand book reviews that they do once or twice a week. Nobody's Girl, copyright 2025. So this isn't a 5-year-old book. It's copyright to the estate. Virginia Giuffre is the young woman who claimed to have been in a compromising situation with the now un-Prince Andrew of England. It's published by some outfit out of New York. I mean, Google will actually absolutely hammer this, so you'll have no trouble finding information. Can I get that? Might be able to quick look at that few words here. So I haven't started that now. I've only just finished that motorbike book, like not even half an hour ago. I just set up the camera. I'll start with this. It's not normally my sort of cup of tea. When I ordered this book, there was 237 other people on the list. I think I ordered it straight after I heard the review on the radio, so I don't think I was number 237. But when I checked the list later, it was 237 on the list. the library are buying in about 6 copies. Now, obviously, they hope that everyone's not going to keep it for the full 6 weeks with no renewals, that you're allowed for an ordered-in book, for a reserved book with other people on the waiting list. I'm going to start on this. I'll start on this today. If I really doesn't grab me, then I will return it promptly to the library. Saturday now, it'll probably be on Monday of next week, but I will return it promptly if I don't continue with it. Otherwise, I'll be reading it, a little bit every day until it's finished. Because I realise there's 236 other people all wanting to get one of the 5 or 6 copies that the library bought in. So that's was only produced earlier this year. And this book is out only a matter of weeks. And when I requested it through the library system, I saw that I was person number 1 on the list of 1 copy. So whether that means that they bought it in just for me, I don't know. And a point there, if you can request, depending on how your system works through your local city or area library system, if a certain number of people, I guess some librarians are keeping an eye on newly released books, but certainly if people request a book, and certainly if more than one person requests a book, there's a chance the library will go out and order that book in. And then after they've got it in and they've put their RFID badge thing in it and whatever. I guess about a year ago, but a number of months ago, we'll get a second cough coming. A few months ago, maybe a year, some videos just popped up, little short video clips on Facebook. Of course, it's full of them now. A lot of them are AI, literal claptrap rubbish. But this was a young woman, American, Molly Burke, unseen. How I lost my vision but found my voice. And I'm not sure if it shows up on the camera there. Yes, the dust jacket is actually overprinted with braille. And that was a specific thing of publishing. Again, it's published out of New York. This book's just a few weeks old. I think the first few copies arrived in America in September. So she started out as a healthy girl, and her vision just got worse and worse. By the time she was about 9, I think she was about 9, it was some kind of natural problem, whatever it was. And she actually got quite severely injured when she was running in the school playground, and she ran into a fence. And since then she's had to either a cane or a guide dog. Lots of pictures of her videos. She's with her guide dog. She's on the aeroplane. She went to Australia, went to a special disability place. And yeah, it's a great story. So we occasionally see her boyfriend who does her hair, or helps do her hair and that kind of thing. But she's fabulous, got a fabulous attitude, just from going by the short video clips I've seen on Facebook. So I will, this came in a day later, so I will prioritise this book, because I know there's literally hundreds of other people on the list waiting. Alright folks, so there we go. ELSPETH Beard, Lone Rider. I recommend it. If you're into motorbikes and BMW motorbikes and motorbike touring, you probably want to buy a copy to keep. Otherwise, maybe get it out of the library and help support your local libraries. Support your libraries if the government wants to cut the funding back, for instance, if they're funded through your city council or through your local area. This book will be in the news. Other people will have read it already and done book reviews of it, but I'm going to have a quick look. Obviously, Virginia Giuffre is now dead. About 40-ish years old, 42 or something, due to an apparent suicide. But course, we know from the movies that whenever the hitman wants to get away with it, they make it look like a suicide. Possibly it really is in that case, I don't know. And I'm glad to hear that to read in the front page there that the copyright is held by her estate, so at least her estate will get some money from it. And this book, which is printed in late 2025, Unseen by Molly Burke, the story of how I lost my vision but found my voice. And good on them for ensuring it was Braille on the front page. Obviously the book itself isn't Braille. You need to be able to read English to read the book. Of course, they do have screen reader type things. Alright folks, I've waffled on long enough. I've got to start reading this one and get it back to the library as soon as possible, because there's 200 other people that want to read it. Alright, bye. I already said goodbye. I'm not going to hold your hand and lead you out the door. Go away. Cheers, folks.